Hi, I am Tom Hendrickson from the Agile Online Summit, where we bring great Agilists to the world. And welcome to our Community Spotlight, where we shine the light on the Agile communities that promote the Summit. Today, we have with us Steve Ostermiller from Utah Agile. Steve, introduce yourself to the people here at the Agile Online Summit.
Hey, Tom, thanks. It's great to be with you. Yeah, my name is Steve Ostermiller. I'm founder and executive director of Utah Agile here in the state of Utah. And that's my fun and labor of love job. But my day job is really, I'm a certified Scrum trainer with the Scrum Alliance. And so I do certification training, but also do some coaching with clients and implementing these practices we teach in class. So I work with a company called Platinum Edge. We're a boutique Agile transformation support company.
So you live and breathe this stuff, and you love it so much you put your own time and sweat and blood into it.
Yeah. The volunteer time is doing a lot of the same things. So
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, Steve, about kind of some of the things you do with your community, Utah Agile.
Utah Agile, we started it about 5 years ago. In fact, I was just looking. Our first event was April 15th, 2015.
Wow.
We had 6 people there. And it was we started out. It was a lean coffee, right? Just kind of an open agenda with 6 people, and that's really how Utah Agile was built. It was built on that opportunity for people to come and ask their difficult questions that they were dealing with, and to do that and have that open forum and have that support group really that may be lacking where they work. So that's really what we did for several years, and then we started bringing in speakers and some more not curated content, but inviting people to come in and talk about specific topics. And there's where we started to grow even more. I mean, we're approaching about 1,500 members.
Wow.
Here in Utah, and it's exciting. And once we started bringing in some speakers, we were able to attract some more people to come in, and then a mixture of those types of things, a mixture of the lean coffee, the open agenda, a mixture of speakers really kind of provided what most people were looking for.
Do you see, and this is, I'm sure it's different for each group, do you see those, Steve, is there certain topics that are real popular with your community?
Topics, yeah. We often found that some of these topics were repeating, like scaling questions.
Yeah.
Right. My organization, pretty big. They want to implement it across a broad part of the organization. Help me. What have you seen work? Right.
Yeah.
Here's the problems I'm having with that. I've got teams that don't like Scrum. What's Kanban like? And what are the differences? What are the similarities? How do they work together? Do they not? Those types of things. Yeah. A lot of people would come to these. They have these questions, so they're new to it. So we would see a lot of new experience coming in, and those were a lot of the things we talked about.
So when you do get, some new people like that, Steve, what are some ways that you help kind of bring people along, and maybe not, so you're not boring the people that have been with you because you've been there 5 years, but maybe helping bring in some of those new people in and make them feel welcome?
Well, that's where good facilitators come in. And by good facilitators, it's people who can kind of make those connections. Who are the people here in this group who could offer some of that expertise? As a facilitator, maybe I have a lot of experience. I need to shut up and facilitate and give them that opportunity. So that's probably the biggest thing I saw, was trying to stop myself or having other facilitators allow people to provide some expertise, because you actually gain a lot when you can impart of your own knowledge to others. So.
Yeah, that's tough for some of us, as we like to talk, isn't it, Steve? We just need to be quiet and kind of let the group speak.
Hold the space for them.
Yeah, so important. So now, Steve, you've been doing this for about 5 years, you said. So if you could, give some tips out there to other community facilitators, what would you say to them?
Well, a few. First of all, like I mentioned, our first meetup was 6 people.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was probably like that about every month for a couple of years. But we get new blood. We get new people coming in. So the community would grow a little bit. So first tip is probably some patience.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a huge group overnight. And really, do you want a huge group? There's something about intimacy, the smaller groups, and being able to have some of those types of conversations. and having it be familiar for people and not overwhelming. So be patient with it, allow it to grow over time, and provide that open opportunity is what, like I said, what we were built on. And so that is really valuable to people. It's refreshing to people. We tend to take it for granted if we're in this space long enough, because almost every event has this open approach to it. And we might get used to that, but it's so fresh for so many people, and that keeps people coming new. What I've been doing recently, maybe this is kind of as you're looking to kind of grow and provide more support to more people, is you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
And I was a one-man show for a while. I kind of went through some partners throughout it that have come and go for whatever reasons. And being a volunteer effort, people will come and go. But what I've found I really needed was a team to work with that were passionate about making it happen and would be able to put forth the time. Like if we had a plan, they could carry it out.
Yeah.
They would give the time. A team of organizers, and then a team of advisors who are big thinkers that I can just go to bounce questions off. And I've been able to recently kind of pull together a group of awesome people who have some great ideas. I mean, we're in Utah. February 2021 is 20 years to the month from a very significant time. And we're starting to talk about how in Utah, could we organize something there? You know, so those types of things are where you need some big thinkers and some people who can say, and with that idea, I'll go talk to so-and-so about that. I have a connection. They would also be willing to do something about that. Not everything about the big idea, but just provide that. So having those two groups is very good when you want to start growing and supporting more people.
Yeah, you got to have the right team, don't you, Steve?
You do.
Yeah. So now, Steve, we live in interesting times here. We have a pandemic going on. So what types of things has your group done to kind of adjust during the pandemic?
You know, when this hit, I thought, now what? What are we going to do? Because so much of the value was being together face to face, and we actually, our meetups were always hosted at a corporate venue where they just gave us the space because they wanted to have people from the community come in. In some cases, they used it to recruit. You know, so they were vested, and they would feed us, and it didn't cost. I mean, they were willing to donate all that. So there was a lot of generosity, and I thought, oh well, now we're not going to be able to do that. What do we do? Hasn't been, you know, so we missed that. But now everything is over Zoom, and we got to the point after a month or so of just kind of taking a breather. First of all, let people breathe, and now, but now we still need community. What are we going to do? We started thinking. We started doing things over Zoom, and we realized, well, you know what? Once a month is probably plenty for us to do something. Before we had, you know, one in this part of the valley and another one at the other end of the valley. You know, so geographically, or we had a Scrum Master group and a product owner group and a leader group. But now we're not doing so much of that as much as bringing people together once a month. And with the pandemic, nobody's really traveling so much. Some people are, right? But maybe we're not in what most of the thought leaders in our industry do. Maybe they're not considered essential travelers, and so they don't have to. So now we're able to take advantage of people who were too busy traveling before, or we have to wait for them to be here in person to take advantage of their generosity to speak to us for free. Now we can organize an hour long during their lunch, during our lunch. And so now we've actually had to put a cap on it a little bit to keep it to once a month. We've had two a month for the last couple months. Anyway, that's now what now the lean coffee we don't do as much because we have people willing, and so that's maybe another tip is know that there are people so willing. If you can reach out to people, they're willing to share some things and give back. And it's easier for them to do so now.
True. Good point. You bring up a good point there, though, Steve, that I find, and you've probably seen this too, that the people in the Agile community are really overall a giving group.
I think about that often. It's a great statement, and I feel it's really true. One of the things that attracts me to it and keeps me here.
It's just great. I just, you know, I would think for someone like yourself, and as I talk to other, you know, groups that we spotlight, it seems like they echo those same sentiments that, there's a lot of great people out there that are willing to talk to them. And it's, it's great.
Yeah, I spoke with one of the things we do is we'll say, hey, linger afterwards. We'll see. You want to network? We'll stay after. We'll keep the line open.
Mm-hmm.
And in this last Friday, we were having one, and someone had mentioned how this has been their opportunity to get kind of an informal MBA. They're joining all of these meetups across the world and taking advantage of of these different topics and finding some great topics out there.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, Steve?
Closing thoughts. I feel like I've given a lot of the ideas we've found that are working really well.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are starting to put together a community, there's a need for that community everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're not seeing it, you're probably the one that ought to start it. And maybe all you need to start it is for 6 people, and that'll be great.
Good point. Thanks, Steve, so much.
Thanks, Tom.
On behalf of Steve Ostermiller, I am Tom Hendrickson for the Agile Online Summit.